In my last video, I showed you the ultimate forever fix for ugly concrete, using an amazing DIY method called resin bound stone. But in my rush to finish the video, I made a massive mistake, one that could ruin the outcome of this project down the road and frankly, make it completely unsafe. So today, I'm fixing that mistake. Welcome to HAXMAN, y'all. If you missed the first video, here's the short version. I accidentally gave my porch a permanent tie-dye job with concrete stain. Nothing worked to fix it, so I covered it with resin-bound stone. And while I was at it, I gave my mom's patio a makeover too. But guess what? I totally screwed up, so now I've got to fix it. And since the last video blew up with questions, today I'm answering those, but I'm also putting this stuff through some ridiculous durability tests. One of the most commonly asked questions was, is it slippery?
What is the traction like? It looks like it will be very slippery, especially when wet.
You know, how does it do in the rain? Well, in a word, not good.
That's 2 words, babe.
It's bad.
2 words still.
Terrible. So my number one priority is fixing this so that it's not unsafe for my mom to come out here. I don't want her busting her tail when she walks out here to go out to her car. So I'm gonna fix that in this video and I'll show you how I do that. But before I do that, let's do some testing and answer some other questions.
Do you get winter weather? With the water flow through, will freeze, thaw cause issues such as cracks?
I have no idea because I don't live where I have freeze-thaw cycles. I'm in the south, so that's not something I have to deal with. However, I do know that they install this in northern climates. I just don't know how well it holds up. The only way that I can test this is I have this original piece that was the leftover piece that I made as my test sample for the original video, and I have the plastic container that I made that with. So I'm gonna take that plastic container and I'm gonna set that down in there and fill it up with water, and then I'll freeze this and thaw it and see what happens. That's not gonna give a real scientific test as far as how this would be affected over years, but we can just see kind of in the immediate what happens. While we wait on that to freeze, let's try some other stuff out. And one of the cool things that you can do with this resin bound gravel is kind of, I've already demonstrated this in the last video, is you can fill this into any form just like you would with concrete. Instead of making concrete pavers, you could make resin bound gravel pavers. I bought this mold on Amazon. I paid 19 bucks, even though it says that it's silicone bakeware. Pretty weird. But why would you pay $19 for a mold? Is what I thought. Surely something must be cheaper, and it is. These are planter saucers for putting like a ceramic pot or a clay pot with a plant to catch water underneath. And guess what? That's also a perfect paver mold. But these were $19 for 6 of them. So much cheaper, and I can just reuse these over and over again. For the silicone mold, I'm not gonna do anything because the epoxy shouldn't stick to that. But for these plastic molds, I'm gonna use this Part-All wax, which is the same wax that I used whenever I made the form for my mom's patio. And I'm just gonna rub it inside here really well. And I'm gonna do each one of these molds this way. I've got a 1 gallon kit of this UV epoxy, and this is from McKinnon Materials. And by the way, I have no affiliation with McKinnon Materials. They have no idea who I am. I just bought this stuff from them and it works really well. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. So I'm gonna put in 48 ounces of Part A, and then I'm gonna put in 16 ounces of Part B. Oh, okay, don't do that. Oh geez, what a freaking idiot. A lot of y'all said in the comments last time I should have lined my wheelbarrow with plastic, so that's what I've done this time. I've lined the wheelbarrow with plastic. This is just drop cloth plastic, probably too thin. We'll see what's gonna happen. I've got a hoe, which is what I used last time. I've got a dirty hoe I could use to mix this. What's funny, Tyler?
Nothing.
I've got a dirty hoe that I can mix this with. Why are you snickering? Grow up, dude. Grow up, okay? When I was doing the patio and the back porch, I bought a gallon. Hey! Man, can you imagine if I'd had that up high and that would have fallen and spilled everywhere? That would have sucked a whole lot. Anyway, I digress. I bought this gallon of trowel slick, and that is because as you trowel over this stuff to smooth it out, eventually you'll get a thick layer on your trowel and it'll start to drag it as you pull across, and you won't get that super smooth finish. So that's what the trowel slick is for. You can just kind of dip your rag in it and put it on here. This stuff's $60 a gallon. Do you really need trowel slick? I don't know. Or trowel slick. I called it trowel slick. I'm gonna try some of this acetone because it's much cheaper, and we'll find out. That way if it doesn't work, I mess my stuff up and you don't mess yours up. So I'm just gonna go over that trowel with acetone and let's see. And I can tell you 100% that it does work just as well in the process. We'll see, you know, tomorrow when we take these out of these forms, if somehow this has ruined it.
24 hours later.
Same shirt, different day. By the way, if you do want this shirt, you can find it for a limited time at thehaxman.com. I'm glad I put down all this plastic because obviously I made a disgusting mess here that would have ruined my table. Let's get these pavers set off to the side and let's get them taken out and see how well all this worked. See if I waxed it enough. Ta-da!
Oh, perfect.
Check that out, yeah.
Yeah. It's a crunchy pie.
Yeah, look how shiny that is because of the plastic.
Can't see it, it's not picking up. Oh, there we go, do that? Yes, yeah.
But of course I would actually use this side since this has the kind of the pattern in here for drainage. This is the silicone one that I didn't put any wax in. This one mold was $19. We'll see if it comes out. Ooh, satisfying. Obviously for the bottom, that got the best.
Bring it up a little bit. Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to pay $19 per mold, I do think this one got the best. The weird thing is whenever I bought these right here, these pans, they said that they were 2 inches thick. I'll put a link in the description, by the way, for all this stuff. And these are definitely not 2 inches thick.
Are you sure about that?
Kim, it's not 2 inches.
Inch and a half?
That might be 1.5 inches, yeah.
Let's get your measuring tape. Where's your
Okay,
measuring tape?
let's measure. Let's measure.
So that one, this one's about 2 inches, right?
Let's see. 2 inches, right on the money.
Yes,
Good job.
thank
Good job.
you, thank
All right.
you.
What do you think this one is?
I'm gonna say 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Almost?
Yeah, just under 1.5 inches.
Yeah, we'll round it up. It's 1.5 inches.
But the question is, was this easier putting the plastic in the wheelbarrow than just relying on the poly wheelbarrow to not stick? Yeah, that was a lot easier than the other way. Shocked me. Hey, I heard it. Did you hear it? I heard it. Oh!
How does it feel barefoot? Looks like it would tear your feet up after a while.
A lot of the comments where people said, oh, this stuff is terrible on your feet. I don't know, maybe after many years or maybe an older product from 10 years ago or something, or probably depends on the size of the gravel that's used. But this stuff is like super smooth.
It's like butter.
You know, because people wondered, well, what does it feel like if you walk on it barefoot? I mean, that feels nicer than concrete.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I mean, I've been walking on it barefoot in the back this whole time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is, if you're worried about how this feels on your feet, super smooth, super nice.
And it's not like you're gonna get a splinter, like you wouldn't get a splinter out of rocks, but you know what I mean? It's not rough.
Yeah, you're not getting a splinter from
But
rocks.
like a hardwood, like sometimes you could get a splinter.
Yeah, but this is rocks.
I know you're not going to get a splinter out of rocks. I said that, but it's
why
not
would you
like
mention a splinter at all?
Don't worry about getting cut.
But Kimberly, why would you mention a splinter at all when you were talking about rocks?
Because I'm thinking about different materials you walk on. Like some wood can be rough.
Yeah, but this is rocks.
Oh, shut your mouth.
The water and resin-bound stone sample is totally frozen now, so let's test it. Scary?
Yeah, don't break the concrete.
I don't really know how to test the freeze-thaw cycle because I would just have to do it hundreds of times. Hey, there we go.
We can break it more.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's the ice that caused that to happen though. You know, because of the ice expanding. Did that cause that, or would that have broken otherwise? Really, the only other thing I know to do is to test one of those pavers. This is almost half the thickness, so, and this is not what this is made to do either, you know, so is it a true test? I have no idea. It's just the best I, hey man, I'm just a dumb YouTuber. All right, let's see what we can do. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It was not the ice. The ice did not cause that. However, when are you ever gonna impact it like that, you know? This is normally going to be on the ground and glued to something. A lot of people said that my truck wasn't heavy enough to test the strength of these. So let's go with something heavier. The skid steer weighs about 10,000 pounds. Let's push it to the limit. That is not good. Number one, where did that turd come from?
What? Wait, what?
Who dropped a turd on it?
Heck?
Who dropped?
Stop. It's like one.
It does. Look at that though. Look at that. What? That's a bummer. The thing is, this is not really a legitimate strength test as far as how it would be daily at your home if you use this. You're never gonna pour this, set it down on the ground and drive a skid steer across it. You're gonna have a proper surface underneath it, whether that is concrete that is already there, or how I've seen them do where they prepare, you know, different type of crushed stone underneath it. When it's sitting on this rock like this, whenever I drive across it, this is not compacted. This rock moves, so it allows it to just kind of do that, to flex, which it's not normally gonna do.
Can we drive it over the concrete with that?
Yeah. Hi, HAXMAN editor here. Listen, it dawned on me while I was editing this video that at this point in time, I did not explain that I'm using that same paver that I've already busted in half on the rocks to test on the concrete. So if you see a split in the middle of it, it's because it's that same paver. It's not because it is newly cracked. Unless, of course, it cracks again, which you're about to find out. No. So that was definitely because it was not flat, because it could move with those rocks underneath it. So that's no fault of the product. That's on me. Having said that though, let's break it. Actually, to me, that's an even more heavy duty test. That's actually super impressive. That did not break that.
Oh, wow.
That's all that weight on this edge, you know, a knife edge basically on this, and it didn't break it. Do it again. I'm gonna break it.
I must break you.
Yeah, so that definitely shows that you need firm base up underneath it. Yeah, I mean, because that's crazy that what a hard time I had breaking it up here.
Yeah, it was scaring me about the concrete.
I know I'll get some comments.
project.
I'll get some comments about that. Oh, I know. See, that's the thing, Kim. I'm like, hey, if I break it, I've got another video. That's the best part about being a YouTuber. Nothing bad can happen, okay? As long as you get it on video.
Forbidden Rice Krispie Treat.
Some people said that the color rock that I went with looks like Rice Krispie Treats. However, if you'll follow me over here, clearly Rice Krispie Treats have a different look. Don't get them confused. Don't try to eat the rocks, okay?
Resin can be flammable, and it's important to handle it with care to prevent fire hazards. While some epoxy resins are classified as non-flammable in their liquid state, they can still ignite and burn under certain conditions, especially when heated or exposed to a direct flame.
Let's test flammability. That's weak. We need something better. I think we need something more extreme.
Extreme.
Perfect. Not even burning still. Let's do it again. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
That's kind of burning. Yeah, it's kind of burning. Okay. Here we go. Ooh, good Lord, that's hot. That's hot. It's on fire, but that could be the fuel from this right here. Ooh, Lord, that's hot. So that's a combination of diesel and gasoline, and I think that's what's burning. I don't think it's burning. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of this up because I've got it in here, and why not? Let's see if that's, I'm just kidding. We got some charring on there, but I'd say that passed the flammability test.
Is it slippery?
Ah, yeah. Let me see.
No,
Is it?
don't you do that.
Yes, here we go.
See?
It actually, for the most part, yeah, I mean, look over here.
Wonder how it will hold up if my driveway is snow plowed or pressure washed.
$3,100 PSI-ish. It's an old pressure washer. I'm gonna pressure wash the dirty one, and just for some giggles, we'll go ahead and do the charred one as well. So if this one is caramel, this one's definitely toasted caramel. If you have this on your porch and you spill your, Hawaiian punch on it and it goes through the concrete, you just have to wash it. You can just hit it with a hose and it's all gonna run out through this off of the concrete.
Could you lay this in a garage?
I wouldn't put it in my garage unless my garage set up higher and I could run water out of the garage and you had block coming up on the sides, because otherwise if you do spill something on top of this in your garage, there's nowhere for that liquid to go. So that's an issue with that.
I must have missed it. What was the square footage of the screened porch?
The company says that you can get 35 square feet of coverage at a 1/2 inch thick per batch. Now, one batch is 1 gallon of epoxy and 3 50-pound bags of gravel. Man, that's a mouthful, okay? I actually got 290 square feet of coverage on my back porch, and I had a lot left over, as well as I wasted a lot because I let it set up in the wheelbarrow. So if you go a little bit thinner, which I did, you'll go even further. How much that's recommended? I don't know.
Based on the fact that water flows so easily through it, how does it hold up against weeds growing out of it?
I would guess you're gonna get a few. Someone did mention in the comments on the last video that they currently have resin bound gravel and they do get weeds from time to time, but it's not a big deal.
Life finds a way.
But I still haven't addressed how am I gonna keep people from breaking their necks when this porch or patio are wet. So let's do that now. We've just had a hard rain, but to make sure that this is good and wet, let's go ahead and get it nice and soaked. To find out if it's actually slippery or not, I'm gonna run across it full speed and see if I can slide all the way across this porch. Wish me luck. I hope I don't get hurt. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's slippery. We gotta do something about that. Oh. And we didn't know this whenever we made the video. We didn't know this until after the video, and we had like a graduation. I started to say we had a graduation party.
Party?
Let's get this party started, okay? We had a graduation party for my daughter, and her friends were over here, and some of them they came running in the back porch, and they were just like, bam!
Then my head hit the wall. Boom.
That's how we found out that it was pretty slippery.
Was it funny watching them fall though?
I mean, it's always funny watching people fall, but I don't want to see my mom fall. Let's make this resin-bound epoxy safe and slip resistant, okay? The way I'm gonna do that is, first I'm just gonna go over this with, I've just got 120 sandpaper because that's what I had available. I'm just gonna scuff over this whole thing, and luckily it's a small area. I should say also, in my defense, whenever I did the original pour, I asked the company, you know, do I need to add anything in here? Is this gonna be slippery? And they said, no, it's not really necessary.
That was a lie.
Is necessary, okay? So when you actually originally mix it, you could just add some grit in, and you'll see what I'm gonna use for grit. It's pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna do our 3-to-1 ratio on this, and I don't need much for this at all. I'm gonna use my handy dandy, what's this called, Kim?
Thingy.
Yeah, mixer thingy. Okay. At this point, I'm pretty sure what I could do is kind of just drizzle for shizzle all over this whole thing. And then I could take a roller like this and I could roll it. What are you laughing about, Kim?
Nothing.
Okay, then I could just roll it just like that. Then I could sprinkle some of this straight up Colombian play sand, okay? That's pure white Colombian play sand, all right? I could just sprinkle some of that on top, but that's not what I'm gonna do. Dump that in there. Ooh, look, doesn't that look tasty?
Like
Yummers.
Not oatmeal, what do you call it? A cream of wheat?
Yeah, right. So Kim told me that I needed to do a test piece first. So I'm gonna test this on one of these pavers. I don't really like testing. I just like winging it, okay? But I'm gonna take Kim's advice here.
I didn't tell you anyway, suggestion.
You suggested. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think it might be good that I took your advice. It's got to clear up though. I've decided to go with the roller that has a nap to it, and also I'm not putting it on there super thick. I'm just putting a layer on top so that it doesn't go in and fill all those gaps. I want it to lay on top. It's been 24 hours and our layer of epoxy and sand is dry, and I can say 100% this feels much more grippy when it's dry at least. It almost feels more like how concrete would feel. It's not as smooth feeling, but still for barefoot, totally fine. It's not gonna feel weird at all. And if you zoom in here, you can actually see how much grit has been added. It's real easy to see. But the question remains, did it actually work? Is it actually grippy now when it's wet? Is it safe? Yeah, that's a lot grippier. I would still recommend adding whatever grit you want in your original mix and not on top, but obviously it can be done. This felt like ice before, like I could have just skated across the whole thing, and like my foot is gripping now. There's still a little bit of slip. I mean, it's not like I can't make my foot slip across it, but it's a huge difference. I still think this is the ultimate fix for ugly concrete, but it does have me wondering, what other home projects could we absolutely crush with a little DIY sweat equity? Well, watch this video right here to find out, and I will see you next time.